What is going on, guys? It's your boy Goofy, and today I am bringing you guys another crypto video. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, and what I think is going on in the market, where I think we're going to go, and we're going to do some technical analysis on the charts. So if you guys do enjoy, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into this. So Bitcoin is currently at 113,000. We were in an uptrend, and we rejected 117K. If you look here, it rejected right off of the pitchfork. Bitcoin was in an uptrend, and then it rejected perfectly off this pitchfork. So if we use this $98,000 level to the all-time high, which is 124K, to the most recent low, you can see that Bitcoin rejected perfectly right here to the exact dollar, and then we fell down, and currently we are bottoming at 111,000. um so let's look at this from a Fibonacci point of view. So if we use this low here at 98K and we go from this bottom to the top, you can see that Bitcoin is holding the zero point 0.5 fib, which is really nice. Technically, Bitcoin could go back down to these lows, which is in the golden zone at 107 and 108,000. I don't think we're gonna get that low, but that's just something to look out for. And what is this? Bitcoin could also, if we go from this low, which is from April lows to the highs, um, we're holding the 236, and technically Bitcoin could come down to the 105K. Uh, but I don't think that's gonna happen, and that is just because Bitcoin is like it's pretty much respecting the fair value gaps here. You can see here on the 4-hour chart, there's a nice fair value gap right here. You can see this fair value gap, which Bitcoin respected back then and it went higher. And then we currently are still bouncing in this supply zone. So Bitcoin's holding really nice at 111K. And I also want to point out that 112K, which was a previous all-time high slash support, you can see here, this 112K was a nice, previously it was an all-time high, back then. This was an all-time high, then we went lower, and once we broke through this all-time high, Bitcoin blasted through, made another all-time high, and we came down to test it once. We tried to test it another time, we bounced, but then the third test, we broke through. But if you look at it from a perspective of this is just manipulation. So like, yes, we broke support and resistance, but all this is just building more pressure to go higher. And you could see here, look, we have these candle closes on the daily. We have back-to-back daily candle closes above 112,000, which is extremely bullish. So I think personally, as long as Bitcoin is holding 112,000, we don't really have to be worried. People got worried here, and they have every right to when Bitcoin is, rejecting. Sorry, I'm trying to find my brush tool. Bitcoin was rejecting these levels here. You don't want to see that. But the minute that we broke above and then we use that support, hopefully we can go higher. Yeah. So that's one thing that I'm watching right now on Bitcoin. Let's see. Another thing that I'm watching is look at this trend line, guys. So this trend line, um, back from the April lows, you can see that Bitcoin hit this low. Obviously, I use a trend line here. And then we went back up and down, used this as support, and then we bounced here and went higher. When Bitcoin broke below this trend line, which technically we should have kept bouncing higher if it was bullish, but nothing ever goes up in a straight line. Bitcoin fell down, used this as resistance. You can see here this wick, used as resistance, and then went lower. And now we made this other low, which I drew another trend line. We bounced, and now we're currently trying to hold this trend line. So if I remove this, Bitcoin is trying to hold this trend line, which is a very good thing. And now we're back above. And I also want to point out that there is a fair value gap here in the 4 hours. So there's a 4 hour fair value gap, or actually it was a daily. Yeah, there's a daily fair value gap on Bitcoin. You want to see Bitcoin try to break above this 115K level, this big red box. You want to see the price go in here and break above um to create more momentum. But if we reject this fair value gap and go lower to like 109 and reject this, then yeah, we're gonna go lower and try to fill this gap, which is very low at 103K. It is a possibility, guys. There is a fair value gap here at 100. Let me show you right here. 103K. You can see that this level has never been touched, and this is a fair value gap. Okay. You can see that this level was a fair value gap, but it respected it. Um, just so I draw lines so you guys can see from 107 to 108K. You can see here we literally bounced in this fair value gap zone. Now, if we lose that level, we're gonna see this gap fill at 104. And just like how this gap here back at 97K, you can see that this gap was respected. We had candle closes and never had a candle close. When the gap gets respected or like filled, you will have a candle close here. It's still bullish as long as we're holding 97K. Um, so yeah, just wanted to point that out. I think Bitcoin still has more room to the upside as long as we hold this trend line. If not, we might come down and like try to fill these gaps, but I don't think we're going to go that low, but it is a possibility. You know, as long as we hold above 112K, which is nice support. So you can see Dogecoin rejected. 28 cents has been a strong level of Doge. So Dogecoin, I actually shorted because we could not hold over 28 cents. You can see that when Dogecoin hit 28 cents, nice rejection to 26. Then we went for a second test and rejected it completely. And we lost this demand zone, which you can see that this is a very strong demand zone, and we went down. And this is a nice demand zone here as well that we're still trying to hold. Um, our next supply demand zone is at around 20 cents, which I think hopefully we hold. But you can see here currently right now as I'm talking, you can see that this zone right here is resistance, and Dogecoin just went to test the zone and rejected. But let's turn on the EMAs, or let's turn on the VWAPs. Dogecoin is still technically bullish on the session VWAP. This is where my long position is. I'm long here in Doge as long as we hold 22 cents. If it loses this, I could probably even make it tighter. Uh, but if we lose that, then I'm expecting a 20 cent long or 21 cent long on Doge. But till then, I do expect higher prices. Um, but if we do reject this VWAP here, then that's not good and we'll probably go lower. But as long as we use it as support, because you can see that whenever Dogecoin breaks above this VWAP, it's support. Whenever we go down, it's resistance, 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 resistance. You break above, support, 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 blast off. All this was technically bullish until we rejected right here. You see the strong red candle, bad, and now we're still trying to catch up. And the reason why Bitcoin was bullish is because you can see here Bitcoin was bullish, 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 bullish. You see this nice red candle. We break below the monthly VWAP, and right now we're currently testing 113K, which is why I think that we're long. As long as Bitcoin holds 113K, 112K, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. Okay, just simple as that. Um, let's talk about Solana. Solana, I had a nice, or I entered a long here off the VWAP. I'm still long as long as we don't break below 206. I'm fine. Um, Solana, guys, you want to know what's crazy? It rejected. Want to remove some of this. Um, you can see Solana rejected off the pitchfork to the exact dollar, guys. It rejected the pitchfork to the exact dollar. I was telling everyone to short Solana at 143. because that's just where algorithms are going to sell. And you can see that now we're below the monthly VWAP. Technically, it is bearish. Um, but obviously, everything can't go down forever or up. So right now, I did long as long as we hold this 206 level because this was resistance at one point. Resistance. As long as we're above this level, I'm okay. But if we start losing this momentum, we could go down to even 185 again. All right. Just want to point that out there. Uh yeah, that's what I'm looking at on Solana. And also Solana is in this bullish trend. You can see that we went up, we went down, we went up, we went down, we went up, we went down, and we try to go up again and it breaks structure and we break out. But what people didn't notice was there's a pitchfork where algorithms are going to sell right here. And obviously, the all time high for Solana is way up here at $296. So we still have a long way to go on Solana. Entering along here would be pretty smart, actually, because you still have a lot of upside as long as we're holding. You could even see here that this is a strong level at 183. So technically, as long as we're holding this level, should be fine. Yeah, that's Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Solana. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum, I don't know why I'm bearish on Ethereum. I might have to change my perspective because if Ethereum tanks, Solana would tank typically, and so would Dogecoin. Um, Solana, as long as Solana holds around this 4,000 level, you can see here that this right here is a strong zone for Solana or for Ethereum. As long as Ethereum holds 4,072, it's bullish. But you can see like this is a lot of red candles on Ethereum, and it's been in a downtrend ever since August 24th. Uh, you can see here it's just been in a downtrend and it has yet to breaking out. Um, yeah, so that's just one thing to notice on Ethereum. Very super high. It is above previous all-time highs, which is this line right here. You really want to see it hold. You can see that 4,000 is a major level. You can see here back in 2024, it was a major level. I think if I go even more back, look at this, guys. Solana rejected. Solana went up, or Ethereum. Sorry. Once Ethereum breaks 4,000, it's bullish, bullish, bullish. But once you start breaking below this level, bearish, bearish. You can see, guys, bearish, bearish, bearish. Look, hit the line again to the exact dollar. Bearish, 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 bearish. 2024, last year, we hit a double top. Bearish again. And again, this year in August, we finally broke above. And you can see here the most perfect trade. You could have put your whole life savings right here on a long, and you made fucking gains because it made new all time highs here. Real people know you just all you have to do is use support and resistance and you will make money. This is resistance until it's not. It's resistance until it's not. So technically Solana is still bullish. Anyone shorting is going to get wrecked until it breaks 4,000. If it breaks 4,000 like this, or it could manipulate, it could do a manipulation like Bitcoin, where Bitcoin manipulated right here. Bitcoin did a manipulation. It went to 107 and then eventually went up and now it's holding 112K. You can see if I delete these other lines. I just want you guys to really see support and resistance. Okay. Bitcoin, the support and resistance level is 112. You see it hit 112 in May, rejected. Okay. The minute we broke above, bullish. Support, bullish. You break below, this is manipulation, bullish, and then back to a retest, bullish. Now, if we look at Ethereum, look, all of this is resistance, 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 resistance. You break above, bullish. You retest, bullish. We retest again, bullish. Now, this would be the third time. If it does go down, then it'll be bearish, but we could look at a manipulation to get more bears trapped and then send it higher. Okay. And break this trend that we're in. But you can see on Ethereum, this is a very strong level. As long as it's above 4K, it's bullish. If we break down below 4,000, bearish. All right. Simple as that. And I have a target of 7,000 on Ethereum. And I think that is from just using Fibonacci from this top to bottom. You can see here that there's a nice Fibonacci right there. And I guarantee if Solana will hit $7,000. All right. But yeah, guys, that's my technical analysis. If you guys do enjoy, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And if you guys want to know my trading signals, like my long positions, when I'm longing, when I'm shorting, join the Discord. It's in the description. All right. Peace and love. Take care. Trade well. Learn every day. God is good. Trust God. Peace. Love you guys.